Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eva Alphonse and this is Special Needs Palace, where we try to create a society that is informed, inclusive and updated on matters concerning special needs and disabilities in general. Please click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell for you to be notified anytime a new video is out. And in today's video, we're going to look at cerebral palsy. What is cerebral palsy and what are some of the early signs of cerebral palsy? Please stay tuned and watch this video up to the end. So from the word itself, cerebral palsy, cerebral means something to do with the brain and palsy means weakness or problems with the muscles. So cerebral palsy affects mainly the brain, and this affection of the brain affects movement and maintenance of posture and balance. And if you get to define cerebral palsy, is a group of disorders that affects a person's ability to move and maintain posture and balance. And cerebral palsy is majorly caused by abnormal brain development or brain damage during the development of this baby, and this happens especially when the baby is still under 2 years. So you find that the baby could acquire some infections when they are born, let's say meningitis, and this meningitis will affect the brain and this can cause cerebral palsy. A point to note is that cerebral palsy does not get worse over time. However, the symptoms may change as the individual grows up. Symptoms of cerebral palsy vary from one person to another person, and people with severe cerebral palsy may need lifelong care. And with lifelong care, they may also need special equipments that can help them to walk or rather move from one place to another place. And now let's move to early signs of cerebral palsy. And we shall begin with early signs of cerebral palsy under 6 months. That means when the baby is still under 6 months. The first point on the early signs of cerebral palsy under children of 6 months is that when you try to lift these children, their head lags behind. Let's say they are lying on their back on a bed and you're trying to lift them up. Let's say this is the head and you're trying to lift this baby up. You will see that instead of the head going out or up with the body, the head remains lagging behind. So it's like you're carrying the body alone and the head is remaining on the bed. Another sign also is that when you pick them up, let's say when they are sleeping and you're picking them up, the legs tend to feel stiff and they cross like this or they form a scissor. So the legs cross and the head is remaining behind and they generally feel so stiff. Another point, number 3, is that they feel floppy. Floppy means they're just hanging loosely. They're not that strong when you try to lift them up or when you're trying to play with them or make them sit. They're just hanging loosely. Their muscles are kind of not strong enough. They could be either not strong enough or they could be so stiff. By stiffness means like when you want to push the arm of this baby, let's say this is the arm of the baby and you want to push it aside, you find that this arm is resisting. It is not being pushed the way you want to push it. So that means that these muscles is so stiff. They are extra stiff when compared to normal cases. So this hand, you cannot push it. It keeps on resisting. When you try to push it, it's so stiff and it cannot be pushed away. Moving on to the next stage is babies older than 6 months. And the first point on babies older than 6 months, you find that this baby cannot roll over to either direction. When you place them on a bed, babies older than 6 months, you expect them that they will roll to either direction. But these ones, when you put them, the way you've put them is the position that you will find them. They will not have rolled in any direction and they will not have turned their bodies either. So on babies older than 6 months, you find that they have difficulty with their hands. First of all, they cannot bring these hands together when they are playing. Let's say a child of 10 months or rather 9 months, they are expected to be clapping their hands. So these kids, they cannot bring their hands together when they are playing, and even when they're trying to clap. Every hand will be on its own. Another point on hands also is that they cannot bring their hands to their mouth. It is very difficult for them to bring their hands to their mouth. Another sign also still on hands is that when they're trying to play with something or to reach out for something, is that they only reach out with one hand while the other hand is fisted. While at 6 months, children should have outgrown their reflex of fisting their hand. All the hands should just be active and they should be playing with all of them. They should not still be fisting their hands, because fisting hands is developed when they're still in the womb. At the age of 6 months, they should have already outgrown the fisting of the hands. And the last stage that we are going to look on today is babies older than 10 months. The first sign on this stage is that these children tend to crawl with one side, let's say the right side, while the left side they're just dragging it along. The left hand and the left leg, they're dragging it along as they try to crawl with one side. And the last point is that on this stage, these children do not crawl on their fours. They either scoot with their butts or just hop with their knees, but they cannot crawl on their fours. Thank you very much for watching today's video. That was all for today. See you next time in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, don't forget also to give it a thumbs up.